Hello and welcome to the Philippines. I gave a camera to a friend to take on a holiday trip to Barili in the island of Cebu. It's on the west coast of Cebu Island. And I'm going to show you some of the clips that she took along the way, mostly on the back of a motorbike or in a trike. The bus trip cost 70 pesos, less than $1.50, to go from Cebu City to Barili. Pretty good deal. Getting a bite to eat is the first priority, and they've got these type of food stands set up in just about any little town, especially near places like bus stops. And this is where they pick up their tricycles or motorbikes to take them to different parts of the province. And I think they took 2 or 3 bikes with 2 or 3 people on each bike to get them out quite a distance out into the country. The term province in the Philippines is often used to describe the country area outside the city. There are, I forget the number of provinces, but each island has a number of provinces. They're like states in the USA, basically. Every little town and province has its own personality, and the different town squares, the schools, the churches. For some of you thinking about moving to the province, outside of the big cities, you're going to get some views of some of the options out through the countryside, up into more of a hilly type area where it's cooler. One of the only ways to get cooler weather here in the Philippines is to go up in elevation, and you can do that because it is a mountainous, volcanic type country. You can go up in elevation. This is actually a Easter holiday weekend when millions of people travel back to their home provinces to visit family and friends. And eating is always a big part of that time. In fact, most of the stores shut down on Thursday and Good Friday before Easter, which is on a Sunday. And this path takes them out to a plot of land that one of them owns, where there's a banana plantation among other things, banana trees and a number of other things, I think.
Maglakaw naman ginalin.
Kaludin naman ako. Ikaw rin sigyaw-yaw dahil sakay na. Hala ka mo sakay, ako maglakaw. Niyabag na. Sige ka magtanaw, magtuninyo.
Ikaw lang sakay.
Sakay na ba? Sakay yun, pinite. Ayaw pa ma? Lugaya. Sige lang good, panagan lang, huwat ako ito unahan.
Sumedaan lang.
Oo, manigod, panghuaan manilag dahon. Oh my God, amay binis-binis yun ay. Nangari bitabis niya, basta kay gaginin, may duhag dinukdo ay.
Oh. Kanar ay moro Kanara?
By the way, the camera I lent to my friend is a Kodak PixPro SP1. Works pretty good, very happy with it, except it does not have image stabilization. It seems to work very well while you're riding on a motorbike or in a cab type thing, but if you walk, it really depends on how smoothly you can walk. So they are leaving the town of Barili, and they are headed up in elevation and taking the country roads, you might say. They're going to get a little narrow here. Really pretty scenery, lots of coconut trees and banana trees and a whole bunch of other trees. I'm not sure what they are, but give you a look at the country in Barili province. The road is pretty rough in places, but enjoy the ride, enjoy the scenery. These sights and sounds of the back roads in the Philippines will give you a little bit of an idea of what it's like to live back in outside the city, back in the country type areas. I've been told by many people that I should live in the province. Much cheaper to live in the province. It certainly can be cheaper. Rent and such, and cost of living overall. There are advantages, there are disadvantages. You want to make sure that you have cell coverage, internet coverage, unless you don't want it. Maybe you don't want it. If you need to be near a hospital for medical type reasons, it's going to be much more difficult and take up a lot more time to get to one of the hospitals in the bigger cities, if that's an issue for you. When it rains up one of these country roads, some of these roads can get pretty slick. And traveling at night, you don't know what's going to be out there. People driving without lights, animals out in the road, kids out in the road. So there's some hazards to think about. If you leave your property, is it secure? That's one thing I have living in Cebu City or any other city where I would live in a condominium that has security. They have maintenance service. They have a backup generator. If I did live in the country, I would definitely get a generator. I would have some type of solar system with backup batteries as well.
Unya memory ray ko ani may.
Wala. Record.
Ando tra pagkuha oh. Stol din ng Amerikano ay dali jang makakuha gadget.
Amerikano po kaya?
Oh,
Sige po Amerikano mo. Apili ko. Pilis mama pagkapis mama.
pagkabuan.
Sabi ko Amerikano mo.
Unfortunately, I didn't get very much good footage out of the homestead there, but they've got a carabao and chickens that you heard, and a pregnant sow, pig, and anyway, a garden, I guess, and anyway. This is life out in the country. This is roads out in the country in the Philippines, out in the province. These roads get pretty muddy and slick and slippery when it rains, so best to keep some food stocked up there so you don't have to run to town every day anyway. Quite a jaunt up into the hills up there, much cooler at the higher elevation. This is the road back to town. You can imagine that cell coverage gets a little spotty out here, so really depends on where you're at. I'm just going to show you a couple short clips going back to town, and then we'll pull into town and take a quick look at the market there in Barili. We're going to drive by some nice houses as we come into town, get closer to town up here. Give you an idea what might be available to rent or buy if you have a Filipino spouse there. There on the left, number of nice houses there. Living in the country has its advantages, that's for sure. And coming back into the city of Barili, Cebu, the Philippines. Traffic gets a little bit congested at times. Don't think this is even rush hour traffic, although it is a holiday, so there are a lot of people traveling by bus, by tricycle, by motorbike. And this is the public market right here on the left. The parking is a little bit tight, but there's always space for one more. And every town has their own setup for their public markets. Give you just an idea what you have in Barili. You too can live the country life in one of the hundreds of provinces here in the Philippines. There are advantages and disadvantages to all of that. Having internet access, cell coverage being one. Thank you for coming along. Please like, please share, please subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Safe travels.